Well, look, you're starting to get a lot of stocks on fire sale, and it's not totally dissimilar to what happened exactly 2 years ago this time, where we have an event that looks binary and it looks like it's going to really disturb earnings. But you have to ask yourself exactly how long is this really going to last? So the offset is the market did start the year at an expensive level. So we think leaning in to some really top quality consumer facing franchises is probably a good idea. We understand short term could be choppy.
Well, to that point, Cisco, the food distributor, not the tech company, is one that we don't see come up often. Why does that one jump out to you right now?
The food distributors have surprisingly positive benefits from this kind of food price inflation. They tend to get operating leverage from the inflation in the overall price of the commodities, and they're able to, essentially offset increases here with decreases there, and basically make something positive out of the situation. Plus, they have leverage to reopening, which is still going on.
Gina, I want to bring you in because one of your big bets has actually been on Latin America, which we've started to hear more and more about. Brazil, the top performing market, I think, in real terms this year. Why Latin America do you feel safe putting capital to work right now?
So when we put the bet on in Latin America, it was before the invasion of the Ukraine, and the general premise was that, emerging markets were the last to get vaccine availability. They would naturally be the last to reopen and experience that GDP boost that we have been experiencing in the U.S. and in developed countries. And so it made sense that that would be the next, and it's also incredibly cheap on a valuation basis, and valuation does matter right now. But then, as the invasion of Ukraine happened, it was an enormous commodity switching story. But it really goes well beyond that, because if you look, for example, at the disruption that occurred during the pandemic, the disruption in supply chains really made us question, do we really believe in this last mile delivery, or should we start onshoring and nearshoring? And that nearshoring play hugely benefits Latin America.
That's a great point. Supply chains kind of being reworked all across the board. Brian, let me turn back to you. So we talked about Cisco, food distributor, some of the dynamics there, but your other names, Adidas, definitely a little more discretionary. Be curious about that one. You also like UPS and Amazon, speaking of distribution, but why Adidas at a time like this?
We think the athleisure trend is going to endure. And if you really think about it, Adidas and Nike have been a natural duopoly in athletic wear for basically the last 30 plus years. Nike and Adidas tend to trade normally in a relationship to each other, and just due to the panic in Europe, Adidas is now at about 1/2 of the multiple of Nike, which is about as wide of a discount as I've ever seen. So we rather like that one here.